everybody, Gary here with Pow Music, and in this video we're going to go over Tom Misch's amazing song, The Journey from Beat Tape 2. There's no vocals on this one, it's just vintage Tom Misch beat making with some super tasty guitar lines and that incredible solo. So I always say Tom Misch is like the David Gilmour of neo soul or modern guitar, because his solos, especially on his recordings, are just so well put together. Every note matters, it sticks in your head, you could sing along to it. So the solo on this one is especially that way, in my opinion. So we're gonna go over all the parts I played in the intro, which covers, the chords in the song, some of those key riffs that build up into the solo, and the solo itself. So I'm gonna analyze some of the techniques, some of the theory behind it, and this is gonna be a long lesson. Now, to get the most out of this lesson, I recommend you download the tab and notation. There's a PDF as well as playable tab that you can play in Guitar Pro or on Songster.com. And you could get that as well as tab for all of my lessons and live weekly face-to-face video lessons by becoming a Pow Music patron, and the link is in the description. All right, let's get into it. So the song's in D minor. The first chord's a D minor. I'm playing a D minor 7. So we're up on the 5th fret of the A string, 7th fret of the D, 5th fret of the G, 6th fret of the B, 5th fret of the high E. And then we're gonna bar that first finger, and I'm doing a little hammer-on of the two notes on the 6th fret and 7th fret. Cool. Then it goes to an A minor 7. And I'm doing fingerstyle, so I was doing like... So A minor 7, we've got 5th fret on the low E, we skip over the A string, and then 5th fret on the other 4 strings. You could also play it like this. Put the 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the A string. If you were using a pick, this way you can go like... Otherwise you gotta go like this, which is kind of awkward coming out of this chord. Okay, then it goes to a B flat major 7. And if you're doing fingerstyle, you can just bar that 6th fret and then put fingers 3 and 4 on the 7th fret of the middle 2 strings. So then we have this. And then I'm giving a little shake of the whammy. And that chord right there is, again, a B flat major 7 over a G. And you don't have to do that. I just hear the bass line goes, and then, even though the chords are the same. So in order to get that root note, I was going like that. So. Cool. Now as a lead-in, I was trying to approximate the keyboard line, so I was going. So I'm doing this kind of hammer-on pull-off from 5 to 8. Then on the next string, I'm going 8, 6, 5. So 5, 8, 5, 8, 6, 5. And then I'm just going down that pentatonic. So 7, 5, 7. Into the chord. Alright, so that's the chords. Then he does this cool lick using a delay effect, an echo effect. And that goes like this on the 10th fret of the G, to the 8th fret of the B, to the 10th fret of the B. So we got and then the second time we go 10 on the B, 10 on the G, 8 on the B, 10 on the G. And then, so rhythm-wise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. With the delay, one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool, right? All right, then that walk up into the solo, we literally are just going to go up the D minor pentatonic scale from the first note. Now there's so many ways to get up to this highest note, so I just kind of work my way. And with the Pound Music Patron download, I'll include all the shapes of the D minor pentatonic leading up to that highest note. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now on that one note, we play it twice. And that's it. So many ways to get there. We can literally just go straight up this way. Or we can... That's the way that I went. So I'll just spell that out. 5 on the A, 8 on the A, 5 on the D, 7 on the D, 5 on the G, 7 on the G, 10 on the G, 12 on the G, 10 on the B, 13 on the B, then 13 again on the B, 10 on the E, 13 on the E, 15 on the E, 17 on the E. That's how I got up there. All right, then once we get up there, the solo starts. Now, I think I've got it, I would say 97% the same as Tom's. Certain things he might articulate slightly differently. Like when I'm going, he might be going, right? So he might be playing the fretted note and then the bent where I'm going, you know, where he might be going. So there's slight little articulation details that might be different, but those are cool things to experiment with. So what we have here, here's this D minor 7 chord, right? Same one we played here. So he's raking the top 3 strings there. It's not the first time I've heard him do that. And that's up on the 17th and 18th fret. It looks like a little D chord. Right, so you're gonna kind of half mute those, except for the top one. Or you could palm mute them with your palm on the right hand, except for the top one. So, then this is kind of a real pentatonic. And that is 20th fret, whole step bend. So bend, play, bend, up, down, and up again. So then we come down to this D minor blues scale. And he goes. Now what I recommend as you learn this solo, experiment with these riffs. So, you know, anytime you're in any blues scale, let's say you're in A blues, you can go. It's a Tom Misch riff, right? It's probably more like a Stevie Ray Vaughan lick. So you can use these licks anywhere as long as you know the context. You know, what scale shape is it a part of, and how could I relate that shape to a new key? And that is, so 13th fret, 10, 13, 10 on the next string. Then we do this, and that's 13, 12, 10 on the G. And we're gonna, this first note actually I didn't mention, we're gonna give it a little quarter bend. It's nice and bluesy. Then 12 again on the G. 10 on the B. 10 on the G. 12 on the D. Then we're going to play that same note here. We're going to slide into it. And that is a big part of Tom Misch's sound, are these backslides. So 12th fret, then backslide into 7th fret on the G string. And that's going to be 7, 5 on the G, then backslide into 5 on the D, then 3, 3 on the D, and then 5 on the A. Cool, right? So putting that all together, so then we do another backslide. And if we think about where we are here, so blues scale is pattern 1 with this root, then we backslide, shape 4, shape 3. Then here, shape 4 with the A string root. Then that is backslide into 8, then to 6 on the B, then back to 8. Now we're going to walk ourselves up back into the pattern 1 area. So, and this is a huge Tom Misch thing, to this pattern. He does that pattern constantly. Da, 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 da. Forward 2, back 1, forward 2, back 1. So from here, and that's 6, 8, 10, 8, 10, 13, 10, 13, 10, 13, 10, 12. Now this is the 9th. 10, 12, half bend, 12, 10, 12, 10. So putting it together. And then I'm doing vibrato on that one. And then this is just straight pentatonic, following a pattern. You could also do it here. That's why it pays to practice scales using patterns, because patterns sound cooler in solos than just running scales straight up and down. So let me show it to you from here. It's a little easier to visualize. So, and I kind of play it both ways, but this way I think is easier. So this is 8, 10, 5, 8, 8 on the second string, 5, 6, 8 on the B, 7, 6 on the G and the B, 5, 7 on the G, 7 on the D, 5 on the G. So then we break the pattern and come down here. 3, 5, 3, 3, 5, 3 on the D, then 5, then 5, 6, 5, 3. Little trill. Then 5, 3 on the A, then backslide 5 to 3 on the E, 1. And this, Tom likes this, shape 3, the lowest 3 strings of shape 3. Then, playing in that same area. 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3. And it's real fast. Then 3, 5 on the A, 3 on the D, 5 to 7 on the D. Now I'm sorry if I'm going too fast, but this is a long solo. I'll be here for over an hour if I go too slow, so I really recommend you get that tab. Right, so we're going between shapes 2, 3, and 4 here. Then this riff, you might recognize that from in Lost in Paris. And that, we're going into that minor scale. D minor. Shape 4. And again, I'm going to include all these scales in the tab. Now you could either go, or for that part. And that's just out of the scale, that little trill. This is in the scale. So on the D string, 3, 5, 7, then 5, 7 on the G, then 6, 5 on the B. And we're sliding in from 5 to 7 on the D. And that's a pull off. And then we could either play that note again and then come to the 7th fret on the G. 7, 8, 7, 5. Or we can go, I find that easier. 9, 7, 8, 9, down to 5. So, then back to 7. And then classic Tom Misch riff there. On the B string, 6, 8, 10. Then on the E string, 8, 10. So putting that whole section together. Then and that is classic House of Blues. If you've watched any of my prior lessons, you know I talk about that spot all the time. You know, nice like classic blues riff. So coming out of shape 1 here of D minor, we've got that House of Blues extension here. 13, 15, or 15, 13, 15, 13, 14. 15, 13, 15, 13, 14. And we do that. On the 15, we're going to bend 15 whole step, then 13 on the E, then 15 on the B, give it some vibrato. If you want to make it dramatic, you can do a rake. Just block off the open strings. Get a nice. Then down to 13. Then we're going to slide to 8 on that B string. To 10 on the G. Then back to 9 on the B. 11 on the B. Backslide into 6 on the B. To 7 on the G. So. Then we do this cool thing. So we're going to the A. We're going to the note A on the A string, 12th fret, sliding into it. Then on the 10th fret of the G, then we're going to walk down the D minor scale on the G string. See if you can use your ear for this one. And what we do is play, slide, play, slide, play, slide, play, slide, play, slide, play. So, well, I'm really ripping up my finger today. And then when we get to the 2nd fret, we do open, then 3rd fret on the D string, then open again, then 2nd fret on the G. So. Then the next part's pretty much inaudible. You could barely hear it, but it's something like those notes again. 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 1. And then he goes very bluesy. 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 5, 3, 5, 5. 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 5. And if you're wondering, well, tell me what strings, use your ear here. It's a good ear exercise. And your eyes. 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 5. Then he goes. First, let's look at it on one string, on the D string. It's a grace note from 3 to 5, meaning you just play it real fast hammer on. And then quick trill, 5 to 6, back to 3. You might want to also go, I would actually find it easier to go. But I wanted to do a true Tom Misch style. I know he does those little slide trills. So 3, 5, 6, 5, 3, then 5, 7, 8, 7, 5. Same thing. Then 8 to 9, then 8 to 10, and then 10 to 11 for the slide. Then 11 to 13, then 13 to 15. So we've got 3 to 5, then we've got 5 to 7, then we've got 8 to 10, then we've got 11 to 13, then we've got 13 to 15. And then we're going to add the note right below the first finger note. So it would be on the 13th fret, 2nd and 3rd string, G and B strings. Then, and that's on the 10th and 11th fret. We're going to bar the G and B strings on the 10th fret, and then play the 11th fret back and forth with this riff. So 10, 10, 11, 11, 10, 10, 11, 11, 10, 10. Then we go to these two notes, and these are right out of that D minor 7. So that's on the 18th and the 17th. 18th on the B string, 17th on the G. Then 20 on the B, back to 17 on the G. Then the next phrase goes. And that is 12 on the E string, 10 on the E, and then 13 on the B. I'm doing a little slide in. Then back to the riff we did earlier that goes. Right? We're going to do that one again. But then he palm mutes starting right about here. And he doesn't go quite as far. Instead of going to there, he goes. Somewhere around there. Then it starts getting really quiet and it's kind of inaudible and it gets really rubato, which means like out of tempo and kind of abstract. So I just kind of stopped right there. But hopefully you got a lot of great licks out of that. I would just take one lick, you know, like just this one. And just workshop that, you know? Throw down on the looper. You know, work with these Tom Misch licks, try to make them your own. Take little ideas and use them as inspiration. All right, everybody, I hope you found that lesson helpful. Please subscribe, please leave a comment, let me know what you think, let me know what lessons you'd like to see in the future. Special shout out to all of my PAL Music patrons, thank you so much, and an extra special shout out to Don Stringham and Cam Chernachan, two of my higher level patrons. Thank you for your ongoing support. All right, everybody, happy playing, and I'll see you in the next lesson.